Hi everyone, Shafiq here. Now that you all know why building lean can be the difference between success and failure, we're going to pivot to answering questions submitted by founders. Stephen, are you ready with our first question?
Yeah, actually, I am. Let me see here. Our first question comes from an early stage founder who's working on achieving market validation for her startup idea. Her question is a common one that you and I hear from new entrepreneurs. And that question is simply when should I file for a patent?
That's a great question. So I guess it depends where you are on your journey. For first-time patent filers, filing a patent can be a long, drawn-out process. And of course, that's especially true if you end up hiring someone to help you. So it makes sense you file a patent only when you have proof that your solution is market viable. What does that mean? Well, market viable means your patent can be used by you or others in a commercial product, in which case you can monetize the patent. Now, we generally discourage founders from filing patents until they have been able to validate the market viability of their invention. Now, the only exception to that rule is when you're filing a patent on a core scientific discovery that can be easily exploited and serves a large and growing market. Let me see if I can think of a good example here. How about solid state batteries? Let's say your patent, you have invented a battery that can be charged in just 5 seconds. And of course, it can be recharged for 1,000,000 cycles. And also has the density at 2,000 watt hours per kilogram. Oh, and better yet, it only costs $10 per kilowatt hour to manufacture. Now, an invention like that, you should run to the patent office to try and file that patent. Of course, most founders don't have those types of patents. They have patents that are trying to, especially in the technology world, you're filing patents around markets that don't really exist. You're trying to create markets. And when markets aren't easily exploitable for non-existent markets, filing patents early is a fool's errand because the chances you get to monetize are zero. Like an example of that would be, think about 3D printers. All the people who filed their patents in the 90s never really got to monetize the 3D printing technology, as the market just this year now is starting to become robust for 3D printing technology in manufacturing. Prior to that, it was just for hobbies, so there really wasn't a whole lot of money in it. But starting this year, next year, it's supposed to grow 30% a year, and the market's finally here. So if you file a patent in that established market, you're going to be able to monetize it. But prior to that, it didn't make much sense. So what do you think, Stephen? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. So let's jump to the next question. And this comes from a founder who recently completed a successful Kickstarter campaign where they were able to exceed their campaign goal of $30,000, which is fantastic. So congrats out there. That's an achievement. Now, Shafiq, this founder is asking, how do I generate sales now that my Kickstarter campaign was successful? Oh, and let's see. And the founder clarifies that I'm struggling to ensure that I want to build sales momentum while also delivering their Kickstarter rewards, which sometimes gets overlooked.
Okay, so that's a two-part question. Let me see if I can kind of get my head around that one. All right, so done the right way, Kickstarter is a great vehicle for getting market validation. Unfortunately, most founders who use Kickstarter to get market validation end up skipping many vital steps necessary to establish a beachhead market. They get a false sense of market acceptance when their mom, dad, and of course all their friends purchase the product out of not out of the fact that they need the product, but they just like the founder. So, when you beg your mom to buy your product, of course she's going to buy it. So many successful Kickstarter campaigns, even when they're successful, fail to make their products become mainstream simply because the founders never did the hard work to figure out the channel to reach their customers, or develop a sales engine, or work through the production and delivery engine, as well as develop the scale thesis. By never really taking the steps necessary, these founders are frustrated when their product sales drop and they cannot figure out how to build out the key business functions that every business needs to succeed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's one thing though that we've talked about before is related to key business functions. Can you take a moment to elaborate a little bit on those?
Yeah, that's a good catch. The three key business functions, I think you mentioned, like, just a reminder, was in your presentation. The three key business functions are lead engine, sales engine, and the product production delivery engine. Every founder has to understand how to develop a product is also developing these three key business functions, without which there is no business.
All right, Shafik, I think we have time for one last question. Let me see. Great. Yeah, this time it comes from a non-technical founder. And his question is, when should I bring on a technical co-founder and what should I look for in a technical co-founder? Okay, once again, that's a two-parter and that's on you. I'm going to let you jump in and take this one.
Okay, so let me kind of answer this again by delineating the answer into two different, let's kind of make sure we understand why we need a technical co-founder first. So it kind of depends. Not every startup needs a technical co-founder. So if you're, for example, if you're focused on a consumer packaged goods category with a product containing no electronics, then it's not necessary for you to have a co-founder. A technical co-founder only makes sense when you're trying to build a product that heavily relies on ongoing development or integration of technology. In that case, bringing on a co-founder after, so you also ask when they should bring it on, after you have confirmed the problem, the channel, and the price assumptions. Then it makes a lot of sense to bring on the technical co-founder when you're trying to build out the functional prototype. Of course, in some instances, you can even delay it further because you may be able to get the functional prototype built by simply finding off-the-shelf solutions that can help you do that. For example, we had a local startup that was able to build out a functional prototype by simply using Instagram as a way of bringing buyers and sellers together for shoes. They were trading in these very expensive, one-of-a-kind shoes made by Nike and so on that were autographed, and they created a marketplace using Instagram. Now, the second part of your question was, what should you look in a co-founder? And that's a great question as well. In that case, what I would say is that aside from obviously having the technical skills, what you want in a co-founder, especially a technical co-founder, is some soft skills that are a little harder to come by, but really essential for your success. And what we talk about is that you want a technical co-founder that has good analysis skills. They know how to prioritize their work, and they are good decision makers. So let me elaborate on a little of each. So analysis means they can quickly understand what the problem that they need to solve is. When you're doing a startup, there are hundreds of problems. Aside from the main problem you're solving for the customer, you have a lot of business challenges to solve. And your ability to quickly analyze what's important and focus in on that is essential, and especially analyzing the data you're getting from the marketplace. So analysis is a very critical skill. The second one is prioritization. Again, you have to be able to ignore things because you're just overwhelmed with what you have to do. So if you feel like you have to do everything and you don't know how to prioritize, then you're not going to be very successful. And same with decision making. There are lots of decisions you make, and some decisions you can recover from and others you can't. So good decision making and having that instinct for trying something but hedging your bets is also essential. Not doing constantly all in or nothing. It's like the old Texas Hold'em strategy. You can't go all in every single time. Sometimes you have to be able to hedge your bets and bet on a couple of things and see which one works out. So as a founder, looking for those soft skills in a co-founder is essential. I hope that answers the question, and that's it. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that one, Stephen.
That's great. I loved the. I forgot about the guys who used Instagram to basically validate the market without having to write any code themselves. So that's terrific. All right, if you're looking to build your startup Lean, please click the link nearby or drop your question in the comments below. Also, please subscribe to our channel so you can receive immediate access to our latest episodes and updates. Building Lean has been brought to you by the LeanMastery Incubator. Lean Mastery helps founders convert their ideas into a thriving business fast and helps business owners avoid mistakes that cost time and money. You can learn more about how you can become a Lean Mastery Incubator member at leanmastery.co. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to helping you be successful in pursuing your startup dreams by building lean.